from the soul with it. Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Dialerix TV back with another video, and in today's video I'll be discussing why Russell Westbrook winning an NBA championship next season would instantly change the narrative of him being selfish and that nobody wants to play with him. Now, for the past 5 or 6 years, Russell Westbrook has built up an extremely bad reputation for himself throughout the league. Russell Westbrook is always being criticized for being a ball hog, selfish, temperamental, problematic, attention seeker, a stat padder, hot-headed, uncoachable, troublesome, uncontrollable, a regular season player. Bruh, I can go all day. He's even been gifted with the name Russell Westbrook. But in all seriousness, Russell Westbrook is 100% talented. He's a great player, great athlete. He's very athletic, and despite my critique of Russell Westbrook, he is hands down one of the best players in the NBA. You know, I've always stated multiple times, he shares that same DNA and mentality as Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. He plays with that same rage and that same killer instinct. Just like them, he plays with that fire. You know, what separates Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan from Russell Westbrook is they knew how to control it. They knew how to take that chip on their shoulder, also stay calm under pressure, and they knew when to go into beast mode, but they also knew when it was time to rein it in. With Westbrook, it's only one way. He plays one way, and it's like nobody can tell him enough is enough, and only Russell Westbrook can figure that out. You know, the one thing I do like about Russell Westbrook, he evolved his game a little bit more, you know, by playing with this back to the basket. He's naturally bigger than most point guards, so he has a height advantage to be able to pull up over these smaller guards. But the MJs and the Kobe Bryants of the world knew that their athleticism wouldn't last forever, so they perfected their footwork in the post, and they worked on their angles and pivoted in the post. And in the last 4 years, Russell Westbrook has been traded and played for 4 different teams. Kevin Durant left, Paul George left, Victor Oladipo, James Harden didn't want to play with him, and then there's reports that Bradley Beal threatened to leave, you know, if they didn't trade Russell Westbrook. Now, his loyalists may come to his defense and say, hey, well, that's not his fault. The front office was looking to rebuild, or Russell Westbrook didn't have help, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's great news. But even still, you already have this bad reputation for being a problem. You know, there's this narrative around that nobody wants to play with you. So now you're proving everybody right. But now Russell Westbrook is on to the next chapter. Russell Westbrook has the opportunity to change the narrative by winning an NBA title. You know why? Kobe Bryant, Russell Westbrook's mentor, faced the same dilemma when Shaquille O'Neal left. They called Kobe Bryant a ball hog. You know, he won't have any success without Shaq. He's uncoachable, etc. And Kobe had something to prove. He had to figure it out the hard way. You know, he flipped that into 2 championships. Wait, hold on. You smell that? You smell that? Oh yeah, that's Kobe Bryant's greatness. My bad. That's Kobe Bryant's greatness is what you smell, okay? But Russell Westbrook has the power in his hands right now, currently, to win an NBA championship for one of the most historic franchises in NBA history. Retire your jersey with the greats, a team you grew up following as a kid, and he's only 32 years old, which means he still has at least 4 or 5 years left in his tank. He's been traded to 3 different teams, which means he now has a warning label on his forehead that says, this ain't what you want. This ain't what you want, okay? So he can simply snatch the torch away from LeBron, build with Anthony Davis, add another superstar, and change the narrative. Because if this goes wrong, bruh, if this goes wrong for Westbrook, the sports media, who is secretly employed by LeBron James, and media pundits who are plants for Clutch Sports, they are going to let Russell Westbrook have it and demand that he gets traded. If I were Russell Westbrook, I would put my ego aside, which I know will be difficult because this man probably talks to Siri every day like, hey Siri, who is Russell Westbrook? And the funny thing is, he's researching himself. He's Russell Westbrook, okay? But if I'm Russell Westbrook, I'm proving a point this year. I got a point to prove this year. I'm not chasing no MVP numbers. I'm averaging like 18 points per game, probably like 7 to 8 assists per game, no triple doubles, then go absolutely insane and play out of my mind in the NBA playoffs, then just solely focus on winning the title, stay off the radar, leave the doubters like me with nothing to say. I promise you this, I promise. If Russell Westbrook wins the championship next year, I promise you I will retire the name Westbrook and I will no longer critique him. It's done, it's done. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all get in that comment box, like, share, subscribe. I'm out.